Alright, a little update. I've been running this thing for about a week now. Motor is running really good. No problems with that. I got it washed. Still got the side panels. Got to get some bolts to put those on with. However, it has now developed another problem. And as you can tell by the pan under there, the rear axle is leaking hydraulic fluid. And I'm not sure where it's coming from. From what I can see, it's coming from way up towards the top. Because I dried it off. This was all dry. And it's still, oil's leaking from up there. I went online and I've done some searching. And everybody's saying that it's probably, there's a gasket between the axle housing and the hydraulic pump, and it's made out of cork. And I guess once it gets old, it starts drying up and cracking and fluid leaks out. It's probably that, or else up on the top, I believe they're called unloader valves. Those could be leaking also. But anyway, you see you can't get to it to see really good. So what I think I'm going to have to try to do is just take the seat and the fender off this cover here, and then I should be able to see up on the top of it what the problem is. So I'm going to start taking that stuff off, and when I get that off, I'll bring you back to be able to see what's going on. Got the fender removed and the seat and all that. That wasn't too hard to do. There's just 4 bolts down here and the little bolts for the footrest, which those were these Phillips head ones, and a couple of them were a pain in the butt, but the other ones came off pretty easy. I'll definitely put anti-seize on those when I put it back in. And I've noticed something else. Looks like somebody has made their own fan out of sheet metal, which doesn't surprise me because I looked up online what a new one of these are. They're like 25 bucks, and there's just a little piece of plastic. Looks to me like they reused the main part of the fan body that bolts to the shaft, and then they just bolted that onto it. So I guess if it works. But anyway, I think these are the 2 unloader valves that they were talking about they leak. You can see they're dry, so that's not the problem. And I can't really tell for sure, but the only other thing is that cork gasket that the hydraulic pump mounts to the axle base. I did a quick look, and I guess there's just 4 bolts that hold the pump on. You gotta take the drive shaft off. You gotta take this linkage off. There's a linkage down there. That rod has to come off. And then you can slide this forward and up. But I also found another channel on YouTube. The guy just removed the axle from the frame. He tipped it upright. That way you don't have to drain the oil. And it was real easy to get to all that. So I think that's what I'm going to do. Just got to remove the brake levers. Now there's 2 bolts here on each side. There's a bolt there on each side. Undo some of these linkages, undo the drive shaft, and that should just roll right out of there. Which, that's what I'm going to give it a try. If not, oh well. But I'll get all that loose and then I'll bring you back. Success! Got her pulled out of there. That wasn't too hard at all. I've just got it sitting up right here. And taking a quick little look. Yeah, if you can see down in there. Oh, it's going to focus. Around that gasket is where it's leaking. So it's not a crack, is it? No, it's just a casting mark. Somebody has globbed some pipe sealant on the pipe there, but you can see it was leaking from further up. And it's definitely that corked gasket. Alright, well then, I believe what do I need to do? I think I gotta loosen this pipe. There's a bolt here, one there, one there. And then I believe that pump will just lift right off of there. Let me see. Alright. We're getting there. Right there's the cork gasket. You can see it was leaking right out of it. All I did was take those 4 bolts off and it just lifted right off. Right here's the pump. I'll just be sure to get this surface cleaned up real good. And I pressure wash this thing before I take it apart just to get all the crud off of it. But anyway, let me get this old gasket removed and we'll go from there. And just like that, it's all back together. So far there are no leaks. Perfect. And here is the old cork gasket, which is pretty much junk. I did not use cork. I got some of this thicker gasket material that I just cut my own out of. Smeared a little silicone on both sides of it, stuck her on there and bolted it down. And I do believe that's going to work. Alright. Next thing is going to be the steering. Try to figure out why this thing is so hard to turn. I did try to shoot some grease in the grease zerks, but nothing went in, so I have a feeling those are full of rust. I'm going to have to pull the spindles off, clean them all out real good, and then I think it'll work. So that will be the next video.